I have to opt in.
Okay.
Does anybody want to see it?
It's more or less just an acknowledgement that because a lot of people, I'm thinking, they signed up for a list like 4 months ago. They're probably wondering what happened to my,
Well,
my
that's the
promised
other thing.
newsletter. But
You want people to remember that they signed up, so they
Right,
do want
right.
to get an email somewhat regularly.
I think
So
that's
if it's
a good
once a week,
one.
every 2 weeks, but it
Yeah.
can't be a lot of you got like
Yeah.
30 seconds, and if you don't grab their attention 30
Right.
seconds, they move on.
But I think that format that we use is simple. If we're going to do it weekly, it should be about that length. It would be
Yeah.
more broken up because of maybe,
Right.
like she said, you'll send one out to the children's or one out to
Right.
but that's about the length.
Yeah.
Right.
To go back to the community, and we have enough community resources, but
Yeah.
to the circles of influence, when do we want to have, like, I don't know, names to begin? Are we going to set a time frame?
I think we'll hear about that from Alan, but in my mind, I feel like in September, like it was.
Yeah, that sounds right. The summer,
Yeah.
you're not gonna. The summer's gonna probably just be more informal.
That's
Because
what I
people-
feel like.
But
August,
people get together
nobody's
to
here.
no, but
I
you
know, but
people
I'm
get
not-
together at a barbecue and say,
No, but
hey,
that's
did you
informal.
hear?
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking when we're going to have like a big community meeting where everybody can show up and see a PowerPoint presentation. That's not going to happen in July or August.
No, that I
'cause
know,
half the
but
town is
still,
gone.
if we
But if we
start
agree,
calling our friends and saying, can you help us out in getting the word out? for the
once we know
library? Yeah.
what we're doing and we actually have specific jobs for people, that I think would be when you'd call people. Do you know what I mean? Like between now and then, you're at a barbecue and so is really enthused. You make a note of it in a notebook, in your phone, whatever. In your contacts, this person's really into the library, So then when you search your contacts, you have all these people who are really into the library and you've already got it all set up. So then you know who you can call and ask for help with and who.
I
Yeah,
think
but-
I think Ruth and what's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly.
I was gonna do Terry. They thought we should get to work on developing the list of yes voters as soon as possible and actually have it well underway in July.
Okay. Right, but to do what with in July is what I'm saying. We're not really going to have.
That's just
Maybe
basically the time to
nothing?
compile.
Right, well, that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
right.
Compile your own personal list of people you know. Compile the people you run into at the farmer's market all the time, at parades all the time, at church all the time that you know are really interested in this. And, like you talk to these people, if you sat down right now, you might remember 100 of them. But then if you actively add to the list as you go through your day, as you go to parties, as you hang out in your neighborhood, you're like, oh, I forgot about her, oh, I forgot about him, and then it's 200 people.
We should all keep a notebook with us.
That's right,
This
we
done.
should write it all down.
Socializing.
That's right. Or in your phone.
Are we also, okay, we subscribe to get the is it the newsletter?
It's an e-newsletter. It's called a newsletter. It's just
What about the quarterly?
We're still doing that
The
as of
paper
now.
one we're
Yeah.
still
Paper
doing.
one, but isn't it a way to get people to sign up to opt for a digital copy instead of a paper copy to reduce cost
I
and
would
reduce?
love that.
But couldn't that be part of the
Mhm.
selling point on subscribing,
Mhm.
getting people to sign up? No.
Yeah,
Well,
just
yeah.
we'll have to think about how to.
Right.
Wait,
But kind
wait.
of what we also want to do is.
I don't think we should focus on that. I think
No.
we want
Not
to.
focus,
No,
focus,
but I mean, not even muddy it. I think we should just let them
Let it
know
be separate
that
things for now.
that they're signing up for, because we're only talking about one more or two more print newsletters
Right.
before the referendum. So
Right.
it's a minimal impact. I know it's money, but it's still a minimal impact compared to you should sign up because there's going to be news about
The new library.
everything we're doing, including the new library,
Right.
and that should be the message.
Right.
Does the next newsletter have that invitation to sign up?
Or the
For the
we're
E-
gonna put it in there, yeah.
Okay.
It's in- yeah.
One thing with the library, I'm not library, where the every library workshop that we went to,
Yeah.
they had something that basically you ask people, you can help one of three ways.
Mhm.
You can donate money, you can donate
Donate time.
donate time,
Mhm.
or just donate your voice, donate support
Right.
for the project. I think that was the three. On the back of their pamphlet, they did something similar. You can consider joining the friends. You can consider hosting a coffee with your friends to learn about the new library. You can make donations to the new building fund. So, I mean, if as we're going along, if we have something similar where we can have people not only sign up for the mailing list, but sign up for one of these options, so that in September, we know who we can go to host a coffee clutch, who can help out with the mailing list, we can actually tap these people. So those are the
Right.
type of names that we should be collecting right now as well, not just go to the thing
the
and
next
put your
one?
mailing list in. So.
It's just on the cusp, probably, well, we'll probably get another few days, I'll send it in.
Well, we'll have to work on, I mean, either brainstorm individually or together and just come up with some of these beats before the next meeting, and then we can just
Mhm.
talk about exactly how we want to approach people at the next meeting.
Have a whole bunch of them in your pocket.
Right. Business cards,
There
little,
you go.
what do you call it,
Wanna
little.
help? But I was thinking we could also, because about half the community is tech savvy enough that they don't want the paper thing and they'll go online and so if we had it up, we would need to have it in about 8 different places or people aren't gonna see it. So you need it on the website. We need sign in, the opt-in thing on every page of the website. You need it in 2 or 3 spots on each page because people aren't gonna see it. Like, oh, I didn't know it was there. But that kind of thing could also be on there. If we have a page on the website about the new library, then the How You Can Help thing where we collect information from people on that page, that
We
would
have-
be useful too.
We have that frame at the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has specific, like, it has, I don't know, maybe like 20 or some odd things in it now. We can limit to just 6 or 7 frames saying, join the mailing list, put your name on for this, add your name for
Right.
that,
Right, but once we have some kind of thing we're willing to show the public, once we're okay with design revenge,
That's,
we're gonna have a page
Right.
on the website with, ta-da, here's the new, even if it's the draft for the moment, on that page also have an opt-in thing for this specific, how I wanna help, and then get them on
Yeah.
a separate email list or mailing list or just data collection.
so first step still, get the picture down.
Let's go. Let's get to the planning board. So he has to call tomorrow and find out what usually happens with the planning board, because we can't be the first time it's happened. Alright, anything else for community resources? I think we're good?
I think we're good, but I
Alright.
have to leave. And then I'll know.
Um,
Not just because we stopped talking about community resources, but I really have to go.
And it's pouring out, so have
Yeah.
fun.
All right, so I guess Carol, you have to note that I'm leaving. Goodbye, everyone.
Alright, talk about you. Okay, human resources, I already discussed this with you, Jim. And Keith, we have to get together and someone's evaluation.
Yeah, I mean, you can go either the front or the back, just not the side door here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
We'll know if you do.
Yes, we will. And so will everyone who watches the tape.
See you later.
So yeah, I'm just gonna email you and we'll figure out a day the 3 of us can get together, okay?
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll do it by Thursday.
Okay, Sunshine Committee? What's-
Should I consider that to be non-human resources?
Yeah, there's really nothing to discuss, thank you.
Sunshine Committee, I guess we were gonna try to collect some
Alright,
money.
so we'll make make it, everybody brings $20 to the official meeting in 2 weeks, is that okay?
That'd be plenty, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
alright,
Okay.
so everybody bring $20 to the next meeting,
Okay.
alright, and since you're also up for Friends, Jim?
Well, the Friends, I think you know basically what's coming up, but I did wanna report that we had our first book sale on Friday, and they set a record of over $500.
Wow,
What we do now is we don't charge by book. We say, make a donation.
oh,
Yeah.
And people will stand there with one book and give you $20 instead.
right, and that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's something.
That's
People are
great.
really, really generous.
That's true.
Readers are.
Yes.
Read-
Those are our people, Keith, that's our tribe.
Can't do that with a Kindle or a
And
e-reader.
the Junior Friends had representatives there after school helping. There also was a Junior Friends, I think I told you this, field trip to Worcester.
Yeah, yeah.
And that story should be appearing in the paper next week about that. I guess the big band concert, you know about that, the Ice Cream Social.
Right.
So
What day is that? Sorry?
Big Ben?
Yeah.
August 8th. and
August 8th? Okay.
August 9th is the rain date.
Okay. All right, Plan A, Plan B option discussion, Bernie?
Well, we okay. Again, back to the Every Library. They discussed this Plan A, Plan B approach to people, since you can't say vote for this option, vote yes for this option. Basically, the pitch is more. If you vote for the referendum, this happens. If you don't vote for a referendum, this happens.
Yeah.
They gave some examples of other projects that they had worked on, which this was an optimal delivery. You vote for the project in New Orleans, and the libraries stay funded. We open one more library. You vote against the referendum, and 5 of the libraries close.
Mm-hmm.
So that was more a slam dunk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
With us, if we did take that approach, we'd have to determine what the Plan B was. And we personally know what we've gone through during the decision process, but we're only moving in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure.
Well, if we don't build a new library, we'll eventually have to close this one. Because we have to get a variance every year to stay open, because we're not ADA compliant, and we can't become ADA compliant.
And we get a variance because we're saying we're working on the problem.
And
we're
right,
working
the
on
only reason
issue.
they continue to allow us to stay open is because we're moving towards something new.
Right.
So either we go to the new library, or we eventually don't have one. That's really what it comes to, because it's just not,
Pretty strong position.
it is, I mean, there's probably a nicer way to put it, but it's the truth.
And we also, Plan B, we continue to say no to children because we can't fit them in our
Right.
Oh,
program.
Yeah.
many things, many
And
things.
We say no
adults.
to handicapped
Yeah,
people, we say no to a teen group that wants a place to meet.
yeah,
We say
Community
no to
space.
people that have no place to park.
right,
Well, this is
Continue to say no to
where
all
we should
kinds of
have a
stuff.
list together and collect this information, so.
yes, yes.
Please,
So that's what you're discussing, basically, Plan A, Plan B,
Right.
so.
right? So, yeah, but that's, we do every year have to get a variance to stay open.
And I think we're the only library now in RCLS that does that. I
Right,
think all
because
the rest of
everyone
the
else got a
libraries.
new library.
That's right.
And that's really why.
Yes.
It is really why.
I didn't know that. I just
Yeah.
assumed that there were half dozen people. at
No,
school
we're the
on
last
library
ones
like
They've,
that.
standing.
they've opened the last one, the only other one or two within the past year has opened a new library, so.
Mhm.
How many libraries in RCLS?
47, I believe?
Out of 47 libraries, we're the only one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good to know.
So Bernie, would your communal suggestion box would be a good place for people if they think of these kinds of things in the middle of the night?
They could just
Send them in there.
send an email, yeah.
It's a great idea, I mean, because you're not actually interacting, it's just a place to gather ideas.
Do we see
What's the
what the
difference
ideas
then?
are?
What do you mean?
Because I tried going on
I
and I couldn't
understand.
see what.
Yeah, no, I printed them out. So the goal was really is just like you have an idea that
Right,
we'll wait till next
But
meeting.
we don't see what everybody's deposited in there? Because I tried it and I could not see.
Yeah,
Why-
no,
Why
we-
separate it first? I mean,
Why separate what from what?
our thoughts from sharing through email, through the normal addresses.
Good question.
address.
Mainly because if we start sending things to each other in email, we don't want to be accused of doing things without transparency.
Right.
But we are
Right.
doing that.
Well,
No, we're not
well,
big time discussions.
For
We're
example,
not.
That's why
FYI
the
type
6 things that were in the
discussions.
mailbox, I printed out.
Right.
They're right here,
Yeah.
and that's my intention. And I can give Carol the password or Matt, and it can be their task to print
But
out.
they're public record at this point.
Mhm.
What's the difference?
They would become public record as soon as they're entered into the minutes or as soon as they're entered into the meeting. Yes. Yeah.
Was it your intention to avoid conversations erupting
Mhm.
about things, rather just
Right.
have basically like a closed suggestion box that you throw your idea into,
And
and
then.
then right
Well,
by
you're
the
just
meeting.
delaying the conversation though.
Right, but
But
the
it was the
conversation
place.
that happens here happens in public and on the air. The conversation that happens in email discussion is not open to public scrutiny, and that's the difference.
Yeah. It's
It's
Isn't
open.
there
about-
more
it's,
discussion from sharing and having time to think through and
Well, I mean, if you want,
Balancing
yeah, it
Our-
this
our-
doesn't sit well with
our
me either
email
for other reasons,
is
but
public
it's.
though. It is public.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they they could FOIL for whatever. It's a public record when we email between our Goshen Public Library accounts.
Right.
So,
But what I'm saying is if we just, okay, topics for discussion at the next meeting, and then we have one thread where everybody throws things out, but we don't actually discuss it during the emails.
Because nobody knows what anybody threw in there.
Right.
Right, well, that's what I mean,
Right.
so you
Only
can,
the
so the
webmaster
first
knows.
time,
And not
this
even-
is
and
what
not
I don't
even
like about
me
it, because
until
the first
today,
time
yeah.
you're hearing about it is sitting here at the meeting and
So
you didn't
it's
have
like,
time to mull it over before you
yeah.
got here, so whatever.
Right.
So
No, I
10
read
o'clock
about it.
tonight,
No,
you
I-
have a good idea and you're like, damn, I wish I thought of that.
Or maybe
No, I
even
read
talk
I
about
read
it.
Bernie's email and
Right.
I understood it. However, because I am not as technologically advanced as you are, I clicked on the link there and I thought I was going to see what ideas have been dropped in there,
Yeah,
Okay.
but I didn't.
right.
So you're the only one who sees them.
Yes, Carol?
I have a suggestion that those pieces can be part of the packet distributed at the Friday before.
Uh-huh.
Why
And
can't
then
we?
people could have,
Well-
the board could have a chance to look at the
Yeah, I
ideas.
think this is just unnecessarily complicated.
but
I think if we're already we're already emailing each other, then instead of only having 2 days to think about this, whenever have one thread, and that's the title of the thread, and if you have a suggestion, put it in all caps in the subject line and throw it out to the board
Yes.
members, and we don't discuss it until we're at the meeting, instead of a closed
well,
box, instead of an online conversation that people aren't privy to unless they sue us, we should have,
Like a mailing list, basically.
I thought,
We should send it to Goshen boards.
yeah, right, I mean, in
And
my
then they'll reach
address
all
book,
of
I
us at
have
once.
Goshen Board and 2015, and then when I shoot out an email, it goes to everybody who's on this board. So if we did that with the subject line suggestion, or however you wanna call this,
Mm-hmm.
and no discussion is done about it, but okay, this is something to think about, and we'll discuss it
good
at the
idea.
meeting.
Yeah, that's.
Right,
Good.
and then this way we all get to mull it over, and we're not
Yeah,
hearing
I
it
like
for the
that
first
better.
time here in public.
yeah,
I like that
I
better.
agree.
Yeah, I just
Good.
think that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
but your
Good idea,
your
but I
idea
think-
prompted the discussion which led to this.
there you go,
Yeah,
see?
I'm
You
glad I
set that
helped.
up.
But
You're
backing
the
up,
needle that keeps
No,
this
it's
thread
already
going.
set up, we already have email that
Yeah.
we share with
No,
each other, you just put suggestion in subject line,
And then no
and
one
that's no
talks about it.
discussion.
Okay, I see what
There's
you're
no
saying.
discussion, you just suggestion, that we close the suggestion box, then we just
Throw
discuss
the key
it.
away.
That's right, we just delete that portion, and then we think about it and like, oh, well, it's a great
You know
idea.
there's going to be
I
you
know,
know
there's
there's
gonna
going to
be
be
ridiculous
emails flying back and
Cookies at the
forth, and
next
it's like,
meeting, we should
okay,
have cookies and
Going to
coffee at
sleep.
the next meeting.
and we
We'd
went
never go
through
home.
we went through a process a month or so ago, where we're now just we're emailing only through our Goshen Public Library
And I-
account.
Just why you haven't heard
So-
from me, because I still can't get into it. But anyway.
I
So
forget
we
about
moved
it.
towards
I
that.
know.
Oh,
I've built like half a dozen websites, but I cannot get into
But we,
this
we
stupid
can
email account.
email outside of that, right, to the group,
Yeah,
which is,
yeah.
That's
You
what
just
I'm
have to
gonna
have
do.
the addresses and email it to the group, right? But
I just have to remember.
I know.
keep wondering why am I
Why
not
haven't I
getting
gotten any
emails from the
email?
library? And I'm like, oh no, I have to go to
That's
this
right.
other library. I have another password to remember. Thank you, Bernie.
So I thought it was going to
You-
line up
Thank
on
me
the
later.
rest of my Gmail addresses, and I still can't find
You
it.
can put it
You
on your
could
phone.
also set up
What?
your Outlook account to get email from your various.
That's
and-
cute.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Well,
can, you
let
can
me
set
ask
up.
you,
You can. I can.
Yes.
we tried to
And I
do that,
have.
David and I. Now, when you sent out something about the meeting for tonight,
Mm-hmm.
did you send it to the Goshen Library group, or did you send it?
No, I sent it to each one of you with at Goshen Library, at the
Right,
Goshen Library.
We did.
Okay, but it did pop up on my computer, so the forwarding that
The
we set
forwarding
up
works.
does
Okay,
work.
that was
Okay.
definitely to your.
But that was
Goshen
not a
account.
pretty thing to do to set it up, but
David, I
we
need
got
that
it.
done.
We got it eventually.
So normally
I
you
need
need
that
to send, you
done.
want the
I
same
need to
thing,
be
so
forward.
just,
I can't
okay.
have too many. I have work. I have way too many.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
What you gotta do
But don't
is
reply
to
from that.
sit in front of your computer and talk to David simultaneously.
Yeah.
And he will tell you, click on this, click on that, go
I'm
here.
gonna call you.
It's a two-step process. Yeah.
You're gonna come over. I'm gonna give you coffee. You're gonna set it all up.
That's right. You buy some donuts at the
No donuts.
Okay, no
Just
Decaf
coffee, just
coffee.
coffee. Just decaf.
No milk, no sugar.
Okay.
I don't want you hanging around.
Is there anything else, Bernie, or was that it for the Plan A, Plan B?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, okay. So new business, we have a TAN request we have to put through. So I'm going to read this, and then we will, what?
Oh, did we do that open session?
What?
Okay.
That's for this
It's a
meeting.
vote. Well,
We
it
need
says
it.
right here.
Yeah, we have to
No,
vote
I know
on
what
it.
it says.
We can do this at this meeting, right?
Yep.
Right, because we want to put it in before the fiscal year starts.
Yes, we have to do it.
Right, so, resolve that the library request a tax anticipation note in the amount of $200,000 from the Goshen Central School District to cover projected expenses through the month of September. So who's going to make a motion? Norma? Oh, you were so close, Keith. So I'll put Keith down as seconding that motion, and
Discussion?
yes, if you wanna have a
What
discussion.
did, I just was
What was
curious,
the last
what did we do last year? Was it 175, which was?
No, it's the same as
exactly the same?
200,000,
Okay.
yes.
If someone asks, if I get asked that question, I'd just like to be able to say.
Yeah, nope, same
Yeah,
amount as,
same
no,
amount.
it's the same as last year.
Okay, thank you.
And there's, it
This
doesn't,
what?
it doesn't matter, I won't bring it up.
Okay. Thank you for not doing that, Keith. I don't even know what it was gonna be. All right, so, any more discussion?
Well, and this represents some value close to the operating costs for the first 3 months of the year. That's
Pretty much, yeah, that's kinda how we figured it out, right?
July, August, September, okay.
Right, cause we wanna use that fiscal year's money for those fiscal year's expenses, that's why we're doing it.
Well,
and this
it-
is 3 months, but we actually wind
We
up getting
actually-
6 months of taxes on October 1st, basically.
Right,
So then this amount comes out of
it gets subtracted from that.
from that check.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so why, if it's 3 months and it's only 200,000, why isn't our annual budget 800,000?
It's all we need.
Because
Right,
because
that's
we
right,
rely
because
on
we
the
don't actually
we re-
have
rely
it.
on
Our fund balance.
the fund
Yes,
balance.
We do,
yes.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
it is kinda what it is, yeah.
I mean,
200,000 doesn't
It's not
cover
a
3 months,
quarter.
it covers 3
No.
months with the fund balance.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, if we wanted to do apples to apples, we really should be.
We would be asking for $400-something thousand dollars,
Yeah.
$450, almost $5.
No,
No,
No, no.
quarter of 1.3,
Quarter of 12
1.3?
is, 1.3 is.
closer to
Oh, it's
3,
three,
3.5, yeah.
3.2 or something, Alright, whatever, okay. Anyway, can I have a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Alright, it passes. 5-0-0. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Start a record, Steve, I have no idea why, cause it's killing me. Okay, referendum date resolution. Is this to officially make the vote for the December 2nd, is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, is there any specific wording I need to use, or?
I'm sorry that I didn't provide you with that. It would be
Carol.
similar to the motion that was set forth there.
Alright,
Just,
so I'll just put in, okay. So resolve that the library requests, is that what we're gonna do?
That the library notify the Board of
Notifies
Education.
the Board of Education that we're going to have our referendum vote on December 2nd, 2015.
Right.
Okay, may I have a motion to, there you go, Bernie made the motion,
I'll make
second,
a second.
and Jim seconds it, all in favor?
Discussion,
Oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry, discussion? Norma, would you like to say something?
in keeping with thinking of the weather we had this past year,
Yes,
what is our plan B? Should there be a snowstorm and we are closed?
good question, what is the plan B if there's a snowstorm? What do we do if the weather gets in our way?
It's a question I can put to the Board of Education,
Okay.
but,
Election,
I,
Board of Elections.
Board of Elections, I'm
Board of
sorry,
Elections, right.
the Board of Elections, but, that has not,
I'm just,
I don't
it
know.
hasn't
Yeah.
happened, but we did have a
Yes, you're
snowstorm
very
before,
right, yeah.
before Halloween that we didn't
Right,
expect,
and then we didn't
that
get
was-
it snow for a long time afterwards,
Right, so, you know,
Yeah.
do we
No,
have
no, I
a
get
plan
it.
B?
Yeah,
And maybe,
but that's
should we go earlier?
no, we can't,
No.
we
Because-
already figured that out we already,
Because,
yes,
We
the
had-
week before is Thanksgiving week.
right,
We
Right.
definitely do not wanna do it
and then it was too close to
Right.
someone
The
else's vote.
week before that
yeah,
is only 1 week in between the other government elections that take place. We didn't wanna confuse people as to coming out 1 week and then coming out the next week.
Right,
And then we're talking about even earlier than that, the same would hold for the week before the other elections.
Right, if it's
So
so
now
too
you're talking
close.
about something happening
Then
in
in-
October, and it
and
really wouldn't.
we're not ready?
No.
Yeah, we really
December
can't.
2
So,
is
right,
really a
yeah.
good date, December 9, pushing it the other way, you run more of a risk with the
No, I don't wanna,
weather-related
I don't wanna
problem.
push it further.
No, well,
I
the
don't-
options
yeah.
really,
So
what it
it's
comes
really,
to, I think, is
December 2
December
is
2nd or
ideal.
April 2017. That's kind of what we end up
Well,
with,
then
right?
we
Or not even
would lose
April.
the use of the machines if we hold it after December 31st.
Oh, well, there we go. All right then, so, I think we should
I mean, we're,
pass the referendum and then,
We don't,
Right.
does anybody have a snow date for an election? I think once you set an election
Yeah.
date,
yeah, I
there's,
don't
there,
ever
at
remember
risk of
one either.
confusion,
we
disenfranchisement.
stay
should
open.
have
Yes.
Stay
sleds
open.
in
That's
our
right.
driveways to
I
give
think,
the
I
voters
think
that
we
know.
just rent a bunch of
Cellar
ski-doos
high
and-
water.
Lots of,
Yeah, really.
lots of
Yeah.
salt, put some hot water pipes outside
One of
and
those,
melt the sidewalk
snow-
and.
Alrighty, just,
We'll get, there's forces all over this town, I'm sure we can figure out a way to get people to vote. Anyway, so can I have a vote, please, on the referendum? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No? Okay, it's good, Carol, so it passes. Thank you. Okay, now, what is this?
Now, we actually have to postpone this. I talked to
Alright,
Daley
so we'll do
today.
it on the next meeting?
Yeah,
or-
this is probably the July meeting.
Okay, so item C is postponed to July.
And I do wanna make mention that what we probably should do by the next meeting is appoint this is all from a conversation that happened right before the meeting,
Okay.
with Ben Daly. We have to appoint a, engineering company to do a site plan. So,
Okay.
it's professional services, doesn't have to be bid out. It's similar to the construction management situation.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Gailey has recommended the 3 people in the area that he's worked with, and he asked me to give him leave to go ahead and talk to them on our behalf, so he's doing that. If you feel like you'd like to interview them, prior to that, we'll have to do a similar thing. We'll have to have a building committee come together, and it wouldn't be as long or as belabored, but it's not necessary. I mean, he's gonna kind of do the legwork for us to find the best price for the job. But it has to be. It's part of it's one of these things that's required by
Right.
law that needs to be done.
Okay.
And what is this that needs to be done?
And this is to hire an engineer,
site plan.
like
Site plan.
a site, right, and to do a site.
To analyze
is
the
the site
current,
plan? What is
to
the
an-
site
yeah,
plan?
what is,
I asked him actually, and he kind of ran down quickly. It's just to give a what he called a topo of this. They have to look at the land. They have to look at the, where the water would
Lot
possibly
is,
right, exactly, where the parking lot's going to be, what the building's sort of going to orient, how it's going to be oriented on the lot. It's
It's like when you have an engineer report on your house when you buy one, they're just doing it for
But whoever, the engineer you hire is gonna be meeting the professional standards of engineers that do that kind of work, so
Right.
it really comes down to price and
Yeah,
the confidence that they have in
and
this.
availability too, because we don't wanna wait all day.
Yeah,
for
so I
this.
don't think we need to screen people at this point, I think
Yeah.
if he knows
Yeah.
somebody and has the best price, I think we should go.
yeah, he's going to talk
Yeah.
to 3 of them. He gave me a
Sounds
list
good.
and see what kind of price he can get.
Yes, dear?
I just wanna bring something up because I was there all Saturday. The stack, this, whatever that is,
Mhm.
was for, there are pieces that are falling off of the top.
Is it?
I don't know how sound that
I
is,
think they
but
said
there's,
that the top needed to be repointed or
it
there's
definitely does, because there's a
recapped.
big
Yeah.
piece of cement at the bottom that
Yeah.
hasn't been there that long, and
So,
it's just
we
scary.
should
The
get
bagpipes
extra
knock it
fence.
Could've been, I don't
That's right.
know. We have
All
it
that
there.
marching and bagpipes, that's what
Jericho
did it.
walls.
There you go, right, the
No,
walls
but
of
it-
Jericho.
Yeah, it
You
needs to
walk
be
down
looked
our
at. They did mention that, right?
Pointing
Was
to
it
see
walk
that.
down our
But no,
tower?
they talked about that, they definitely, the architects wanna keep
Keep
it.
that, yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
like
part
it,
of
yeah.
it.
Basically,
We
it's
would
very
too.
stable, but the top
Top
needs to be
Okay.
recapped or something. So
Mm.
you're
Yeah,
right.
I do
Definitely.
remember that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
just-
So maybe we should have that recapped one
Sooner
way or
than
another.
later, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, as soon as possible, if we're gonna have things in the park.
Unless that's a very,
Yeah.
very expensive
Yeah.
item that we have to hold off on.
We also don't wanna be hanging out
So
flames
that
because
and
someone got hit with a
spikes
rock.
on the fence.
Yes,
taken
that-
care of.
So we need
I'll
to-
call Ketchum tomorrow, see when they put us on the list. They're doing 3 jobs, that, 2 railings in the building that need to be tightened up that were kind of falling
Yeah.
over,
Mhm.
so.
yeah, they can separate the,
Yeah, they're gonna get to this one first.
yeah.
The, okay, so that's gonna further, so, was there something you wanted to discuss under other, is that what you said?
Yeah, well, I can just go over these. Most of them are done, actually, because we discussed them already. But one more thing I did want to mention, and just to throw out there, when we're planning the infrastructure for the land, the Salesian land. And we can talk to Paul and Megan about this. We may want to keep in mind to do something like extend the sewer line to the back of our parking lot,
Okay.
so that in the event that the Parks and Recreation want to put something in the sewer line, they have some place to tap into,
Oh, yeah.
rather than digging up.
Yeah.
Extend water out there, extend sewage out there, and just leave it capped, so that they can build on that should they
Without
want
digging
to
through all
next
the-
year or 20 years, whatever the case may be.
One of the things the engineers will do is give us a picture of where the sewer lines, et cetera, come
Yeah.
into the property, so we'll know more about that stuff
Okay.
when they do their work site plan.
I think we should get a price on that extension.
Well, when the time comes, but that'll be part of the bond. It'll be out of the cost of the bond either way. So.
Right, but if we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
cheap
sewer
out
line
on
to nowhere because they
something
don't
else for the public,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
It's gotta be a
Yeah,
cost benefit
it's supposed to
analysis
be, I'm
thing.
surprised he
Right.
didn't wanna- I can bring it up, sure.
What's that?
Most of you know, I spoke with Tom Leak a couple Fridays ago, was it last week? Oh, I can't
I think
remember.
it's supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he was
going
planning on coming, but I'm sure I'll be in contact with him tomorrow, because he knows that we're deciding, some decisions have been made now tonight that he'd like to report on.
Okay.
So I believe what he's interested in doing is a few rolling articles over the summer and into the fall about the library, about our situation. It started with me. I said, your better bet is really to start talking to Michelle and that faction there, and of course with stuff we do upstairs. But he's gonna, I think, next talk to Michelle and the Just for Kids people, and but so that's that. He seemed excited about the project. So.
Yeah, and I think we asked him to wait a couple of meetings because we wanted to give him an actual, something to put in the paper. We were kinda hoping to have that draft picture, to go with an article.
We could call it draft.
We can,
Yeah,
no,
we
I
can.
understand that, no, I get it, but what I don't wanna do is the same mistake the previous board made. I don't want to put a picture out in the paper that turns out not to be the library we're building because the planning board is not
that's
okay
why we
with it.
have
But,
draft.
no, right, no, I understand that, but they had draft under, well, they didn't, then they
I don't
had,
think
whatever.
we had draft.
Point is, it's just harkens back to something we wanna detach ourselves from, and that's really where
Well,
I'm coming
I'm
from with this.
very hopeful they can deliver an architectural, a library that matches what they've drawn up.
Oh, no, that's not my point.
No, I know what your point
I'm
is.
sure Paul and Megan can give us everything they've shown
Well,
us
I know what
already.
you're talking
That's
about.
not what's gonna shoot us down. I just wanna make sure we're not gonna run into trouble with the planning board or something.
Planning.
They're like, hey, you didn't comply us with this, why are you putting it in the paper? I don't know how it's gonna happen. And I don't
And-
wanna step on
and
toes unnecessarily.
Matt will talk with Megan
Right,
this week and determine
Right.
whether they're already on it.
well, this is why
Yeah.
we asked
Yeah.
Mr. Leak to come back another time, simply because we really weren't ready for him.
Yes.
I wanted to give him, he wants to do a nice picture, and
Yeah,
in
hold
case,
on.
let him
Copy.
have
Especially
Yeah,
the,
please,
the
pencil
little
drawing,
questionnaire,
you know,
Right.
the little
and then just
questionnaire.
kind
I
of
think
whet
we could
everyone's
do that.
appetite for it. But I
Sure.
want it to
We
be a
use a
pencil
lot.
drawing that's actually gonna look somewhat like the real,
And we want to actually be able to start using that immediately.
what's that?
We want to be able to use that same drawing immediately ourselves.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and let
so-
him throw it out to the paper, and then we could put it up on it, and then everybody starts seeing it places, and,
Mhm.
but if it turns out not to be the one we're gonna build, we look stupid.
Mhm.
And they'll be like, oh, they're just doing the same thing again, I don't want
Yeah.
that to happen.
They'll just line
Anything-
up. They'll just line up for that.
Oh,
I have some.
anything? Oh, thank you. Okay,
So
anything else?
we had 6. So just to go, and we're not going to do this again, but we had 6 emails.
Okay.
3 that were done already. Talked to Alan Berger's reference on the Moffett board. We did that tonight.
Mhm.
Confirm the Salesian land is zoned for the library, not limited to residential. We already talked about that. We're on
Right.
that. Keep email list registration at the top of the home page for the Goshen Library. That's already been done. Ask Ben Gailey about starting a library foundation to receive donations.
Okay,
So I can just
yeah, pass that on to me.
pass that on to Matt.
That's
And
one of
and the
things you have to do.
the deal there is I'm aware of community foundation, is that what it's called? There's a not-for-profit basically that will hold donations and collect it, and they're 501c3, and in so doing, people are more likely to
Hmm.
grant donations that can actually will their property to the library in regards to that. So, but if he's aware of that or what steps we need to take to start a library foundation, specifically to get money for capital projects and endowment, something along these lines. The Friends already donate towards operating costs, but it's their money and they donate to us. This would be something else along those lines, and particularly in regards to the capital project that we're working on, or any capital project that we're working on. So, design a new library Q&A. This is just basically similar to the Moffett Library. We just discussed that already tonight. And then Megan sent in the email about grants she had researched.
Yeah, I spent a couple hours at the Newburgh Free Library looking over the foundation database. I found 2 potential foundations. I don't know what our success would be, but one is the G. Unger Vetlesen Foundation. They require a letter of inquiry. And then if you don't hear back from them, that's it. You can't submit a full proposal. If they want you to submit a full proposal, then you'll hear back from them. But libraries is part of their mission. And they had grants that were awarded between the years 2011 and 2013 on their website. I didn't see any public libraries. I did see other organizations. I did see a few Hudson Valley based organizations though, and they give nationally. So it's just a letter of inquiry. In my opinion, it doesn't hurt. The other one is the Gladys Brooks Foundation in Garden City. And they only give grants in the amounts of $50,000 to $100,000. And they specifically are looking to fund endowments, to start endowments, and new construction. There's specific requirements in terms of applying, but I can forward everything to all of you if you want to look at their websites and see if it's, well, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to pursue.
Sounds great.
So,
We also have to start tapping into our elected officials and see what they can get.
and that's
State-
the other
State
thing.
and federal.
Yeah.
I went to a college reunion, and of course, the college is asking for money. But one thing I learned about, you hear, the class of, the class that had their 50th reunion, they contributed $22 million or something collectively. But then what I learned was that they actually didn't write checks for $22 million. Pledges are counted. If you say, in my will, there will be $25,000, they count that.
Yeah.
Even though you might not die for 20 years, but
Yeah.
nevertheless,
Yeah.
it's counted. So there are ways to end up with a significant figure. We don't have the money in hand, but people have made various kinds of pledges or commitments.
For a potential endowment, that's key.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're going to give it to you in 20 years, as long as it arrives.
Right.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you.
No? That's fine, thank you. Proposed items for next meeting?
Next work session.
No, 2
No.
weeks is the next meeting.
Right. But from here we do,
I don't think that's part of the work session.
So I thought we would just, 2 weeks from now, we're gonna discuss this, and then at that, we discuss whether or not we're gonna have another work session and what we're gonna talk about then. I just thought that's how we were doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything you wanna discuss 2 weeks from now at our board meeting? If you wanna add to the agenda?
Well, in regard to the 2 grant, you're going to
Mhm.
email that.
I can forward everything to you.
Okay, then I think maybe we should try to look at that, and if people think it's a thing to do, we should try to proceed on, because I'm sure there are deadlines and things if you want to
Yeah.
get money.
Mhm.
I have it in front of me.
Wasn't there something about us asking for grants ourselves, don't we have to have somebody outside volunteer do it?
No, we can,
I'm sorry.
depends, but I think we can ask for grants.
Yeah, the application period for one is January 15th to May 29th. So
So we missed that one.
we've missed that
I'll
one.
double check it, but I think.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a-
And this one, there is no. Oh, I'm sorry. To be reviewed in December, the deadline is October 31st.
Okay,
So,
So
yeah.
we got plenty of time.
And I'm still looking. That was
Okay.
just in that one database. So,
So our next meeting is the 15th.
The next
Yes.
meeting is the 15th. And so we wanna revisit the grant possibilities at the next meeting, we'll mention it, bring it
Grant
up.
possibilities at the next meeting.
I'm sorry, Joanne.
As no, I'm sorry, I was half thinking out loud, half asking. So a proposed agenda item for the next meeting is to revisit the grant proposal, grant options, let's put it that way. What would we put that under, unfinished?
When do we sit down with Alan Berger and have him start coaching us as?
Yeah, when is he coming?
I have him, he's gonna be here in July,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
right,
He was gonna come tonight and then, anyway, he's a busy man, but, I invited him to the 15th. June couldn't do, he's gonna be in San Francisco,
right.
so, hopefully
The July
meeting.
16th or
Okay.
whatever meeting will
He,
I will not be at that meeting, by the way.
be here. Right,
I
and
have
neither
to
will
be
you.
out too.
I'm gonna miss the 16th, so it's
Alright, so
2 hours.
when do you do? Because we may not.
mid-August, August 12th.
Alright, so we're probably good.
Okay.
You have a quorum.
Alright, so we'll have a quorum. Alright, so we'll have a quorum, so nobody else is allowed to miss that meeting.
he asked whether he could call into our meeting.
Oh, he did too.
Yes. Technically, he can't for
No,
two
he
for
can't.
2 reasons. First is we have no phone here.
Right.
Second is
Open meetings law.
open meeting law. Yeah,
it's a
we
violation.
would have to actually say the meeting is taking place here and in his car,
Right,
and people would have to be able to get into his car if they wanted
To
to attend the meeting there.
participate in the
Yes.
meeting,
So
yeah.
that
Why?
that
That's,
I don't
Right.
understand that.
He can't
We
make
can't,
the
it
next.
violates the open meetings law, we had,
So, he's here on voice.
no.
no, it's an open
Because
it's an open meeting
people
and
have to be, it's a physical thing, you can't send a letter to the library and have it read during privilege of the floor. If you want something in privilege of the floor, you have to physically come here. We had somebody who wrote us letters constantly, remember? He was a delightful gentleman, we got letters from him all the time. But if you're not gonna physically show up, we're not reading your letter into the minutes, it just doesn't happen. So if you care enough, you
I
have
thought
to
it was
actually be
choice.
here. No, we had a member who, we had a couple of different things happen. But because the member couldn't physically be here, that we just had to mark them
I
absent.
know what you're talking about. So.
Yes. Well, it's a couple of different, and one of them had surgery and wanted to Skype into the meeting,
right.
and then,
That's right.
right, and then it's like, no, you have to physically butts in
It-
seats so you don't
it's
count.
got to do with
Yeah.
reporting the sites that the meeting is taking place. We
Right.
could effectively, if we wanted to do it here and in the senior center and connect it to,
Right,
we would
we
be able to
could.
do that if we wanted to take
As
the
long as both
technological
are
reasons.
open to the public and people can show up
Exactly.
at both meetings.
Because it's no an open meeting.
Right,
So
because it's gotta be
we would have to
open all
know
the time.
where Alan was.
Right.
And the
So
other,
the meeting
And,
takes
and
place
who's,
on
who's
84.
with him?
and who, well, that's
Right.
the other issue too,
Right,
is we have
and
no way of knowing
exactly.
over the phone who else is in the room.
Who else is in the car with them, right.
And
And
ver-
it's
or
equal to the
verifying
next
that.
And there's nothing to
So-
fly that.
June
Why would that matter?
15th?
So the-
July.
July 16th, right?
When
Doesn't
is
matter.
our next meeting?
Ours is June
Ours is
15th,
June
but he's not,
15th.
He
he's not
can't
gonna
come
be
in.
here, no.
No, and then the one, we
And
have
then
a
the
work
work
session
session,
on
he
the
can't make
29th,
that
he
either?
can't come to that.
Possibly, so, I'll have to run it by him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try
see if
that.
he could do that, because then
That'd
at
be
least we
good.
would all
Then
be
we'd have
here
the
for
full
that
board.
meeting. And we could just devote the work session to that. I think that would be probably better use than eating up a meeting with. Yeah, I think talking to him is better set for a work session, actually.
Yeah, June 29th.
June 29th, right? Right. Okay, anything else?
We're gonna have an update on the sign and the fence.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, well, that would be
And
under
the
physical
design.
resources, right? So we
Yeah.
don't, you could just do that when you call physical resources.
Fair enough.
Okay, we good? Privilege of the floor? Okay, We don't need executive session, so I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting. All right, Norma. And second? Really? I couldn't believe hesitation, seriously? Bernie, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned at 9:11 p.m. Thank you very much. See you in 2 weeks.